And welcome back to Commander's Log. Today is episode 3, Operation Laser King. Now, some of you might be wondering what Operation Laser King is. It's really to rescue this outspoken DJ. And we go ahead and equip our squad of ultimate badasses. We have Torque, Cherub, Blue Blood, and Terminal going on a ride to go and make City 31 a safer place to be.
Sacred Coil doesn't like being called out on their crap, especially on the radio. This station has repeatedly attacked their bonded stare broadcasts.
Oh, and also he speaks out against these people. So I guess, I can understand why they're trying to silence this DJ. So we go over here and we stack up 2 people on the explosive wall, 2 people on the main door. And we do what we do best. Kick some ass. Okay, so first thing is Terminal here. She looks around and just decides to pop this person right here, right in the face. And Blue Blood decides that he's going to go ahead and team up on the same person. And our dynamic duo on this side is Cherub and Torque. Cherub looks around and sees a lot of people who are probably going to shoot at them. He decides to block all of it. And Torque takes his long shot, does a great job, and seals the deal. I am so glad that we put our shield up. Didn't take any of that damage. None of that damage. It also gives Cherub 2 charges, so if something gets real close, he can smack it in the face. Terminal looks around, and she gets a little trigger happy. She forgets to heal anybody this turn, but that's okay. We took down an enemy. And this Commando takes a shot. Oh my lord. And brings Blue Blood within an inch of his life. Oh my goodness. And we really don't like explosive androids. They're a pain in the butt. Blue Blood looks around and decides that he does not like this turret looking at him. Unfortunately, does not kill it or destroy it.
Stepping out.
But he grabs some decent cover behind the tires. Now I think Cherub here was trying to protect his squad as usual. And he just takes a shot, destroys this turret. Because those turrets can be a real big pain if you don't take care of them. Our girl Torque looks at her position and decides she's got to move up just a tad.
On the go.
And the other thing she can get here is this android. So she looks at it and decides that the best thing to do about this possibly explosive enemy is to get it closer to her.
Get over here.
And so she puts the squeeze on. And so at least that thing won't explode anybody else. Blue Blood shoots at this purifier. Now this guy kind of is a little scary because he gets too close, he's going to light you on fire. But luckily he didn't get close enough. And Terminal remembers to actually heal someone this turn.
Much obliged.
Before she goes and shoots somebody. And we're very grateful this purifier did not take any cover whatsoever. Because we can stare him down before we shoot him. There we go. This Commando comes over here, and luckily we have a kinetic shield on our healer. Now right over here was a little tactical mistake because we have this explosive android in our coils. And Blue Blood goes ahead and heals himself back up to full and shoots this Commando, which promptly makes this guy explode. Luckily, Torque gets 1 armor whenever she's grappling something, so she doesn't take full 4 damage.
Wow. Sacred Coil aren't holding back. You must really hate this DJ.
Until I heard it aloud, I thought it was pronounced Deej.
I guess that makes sense. Deej.
Breach! Breach!
Alright, Blue Blood just shoots at this turret. Kind of fakes it out a little bit. But both pistol users team up on it. And Torque decides to give this guy a toxic greeting, spits some acid or poison in his face, which brings him just low enough for this shot. Now it is a miss, but we do have a stock, or superior stock, I believe, to deal 2 damage even on a miss. Oh, as a quick surveillance of his surroundings, Blue Blood just decides to take a pot shot right there. He missed, but he does 3 damage on a miss, and he decides to move up on the right flank.
Feel the fire covered.
Now we were expecting this android to, like, you know, move closer. He just shoots us. So, you know, Blue Blood doesn't feel like tremendously smart about his decisions, but here we go, shielding our girl Torque, and Chab goes ahead and puts this person to sleep.
Locking down.
We paid the cost.
We got a lot of activity on this right flank, and I really, really hate that enemy that gives everyone shields. It's just very much a pain in the ass to deal with. But Torque comes over here and sees a golden opportunity, and she decides that she is going to go ahead and take this purifier out of the equation. Does what she does best. She puts the squeeze up. And luckily this one doesn't explode when it dies, so she feels a little bit better about her decision. Terminal gives some hit points to Blue Blood. He's been up and down on the hit points the whole mission, but at least he's alive. And Terminal also gives Blue Blood an action using cooperation, so he goes ahead and moves up for a little bit, which activates his Overwatch. And I feel kind of silly for giving him an action because he was coming up next anyway, but that's okay. Blue Blood looks at those 2 targets and realizes that they're both in a line and he can deal damage to both of them. Even though he forgets that this android is just going to explode in his face. Once again, not the smartest decision on his part, but at least he's alive. And we give him a kinetic shield so he can make more silly decisions in the future without taking too much damage. And Cherub comes over here to the right to give him some support. And already the shield is paying off, saving us for a couple of damage there. And we just squeeze this guy to death. I'm pretty sure that was the sound of his innards escaping some orifice as we squeeze him to death. And Terminal goes ahead and remembers we actually have a mission to accomplish, and thank the Lord that she remembers that, because we were all just so concentrated on shooting people we forgot the actual mission. And Blue Blood just looks at this one last Guardian and decides that he's gonna shoot them with his pistol. And he weighs the options, and he just decides to fall back, just in case. Activating his Overwatch. Cherub goes ahead and reapplies the shield to Blue Blood. And takes a shot, knocking him out.
Buttoned up.
Alright, not bad. Now here's the time we actually have to go and rescue this DJ.
Our VIP is in the building, along with an impressive amount of Sacred Coil flunkies.
DJ VIP in the house. Until we escort him out of the house.
Alright, so we think about all these breach points, but we kind of taking some damage. So we all just stack up here and decide that Terminal is going to go ahead and give us some hit points. and so is Torque. So all the people who were hurt are pretty much all at the full now. First thing I see is this big mech, and we decide that that's the first thing that's going to go, because it's going to shoot at us if it isn't gone. And everyone just takes turns shooting at it. Torque looks around just a tad, but decides that no, it's probably best she takes care of this mech. Which she does. And we just take our pick of who the heck to shoot at. And this looks like a good enough target. The guy with the flamer is probably a decent target to shoot at.
Always knew XCOM would come for me. Didn't see it going down like this.
Holy crap, that's Floyd Tesseract.
Oh no, we preemptively lost the hostage. There was nothing we could have done.
That's what I expected from XCOM.
Mr. Tesseract, we need to get you out of there.
I know the drill. I devised the drill. Head down, follow orders, keep living. Old habits die hard.
Alright, let's see if we can save Mr. Tesseract. And we go ahead and Cherub puts a shield on our girl Torque here. She is most often up in the enemy lines, squeezing them to death, so she does appreciate 72%. Seemed like a good shot to me. Cherub was just wide.
Reducing profile.
And one of these irritating androids is going to prime self-destruct. Mutons just look silly when they're not in armor. And I don't know how that guy made that long shot. It doesn't even look like he's got line of sight, but we're not going to argue. Blue Blood misses, but still does 3 damage, knocking the person out. And we just go ahead and look this guy in the eye real quick. And take a shot. There we go. Ooh, Mr. Commando comes down and does 2 damage to Torque. Good thing she dodged that. Yeah, she didn't like that too much. She comes over here and just whacks him.
Why don't you lie down for a bit?
Oh, now here, this person is very irritating. Ronin are very good at getting in, dealing damage, and getting out. They can even make the first Overwatch of the turn miss them with their lightning reflexes, so it's always difficult to pin them down. But that's okay, we got them outnumbered, so we're just going to heal up our girl Torque.
He'll be fine.
I didn't ask
She still
for
does
this.
not like taking aid, even from teammates. Get 5 more damage on this Ronin. It's looking kind of vulnerable here, but we go ahead and put the shield back on Torque. She's our front line right now. There you go. A couple more damage to this this Ronin. This explosive android's getting closer and closer. We do not like it. We don't like it even more when he actually lands his shots. But I think he's got some kind of high ground advantage. Good thing that one missed. Blue Blood just goes ahead and says he's going to take care of this Ronin. And puts it down. He looks around the room and decides to move up just a tad. Looks at the android instead. And does 2 damage for missing it. Now Torque is kind of just frustrated with all this and decides that she's just going to go and take care of business the only way she knows how. Violently. The greatest thing about the tongue pull is it doesn't take any action points. So we can tongue pull right into a bind even after moving. And since we have our kinetic shield, we can
Just go
hug this thing to death. The idea was to catch the shield guardian in that explosion as well, and she miscalculated the explosion just a tad. But that's okay, because we have a plan, plan is first to heal her with the Heal Bot 9000. And then Terminal is going to gift Torque an action using her cooperation skill. And remember what I told you about this this tongue pull? It does not cost an action point. So even though we're right here, we're just going to tongue lash this guy
Time for it.
ever so closer and wrap him up.
Don't struggle.
Torque would probably be really good at judo or jujitsu.
Shields up.
And just in case we give her an extra shield, since she's the only one up there with enemies. And at this point, it looks like a pretty clear-cut,
Weapons running low.
clear-cut mission. We know at some point there may be some reinforcements, but we don't know when. We're just gonna come up here nice and slowly, covering all the angles. Blue Blood decides to hop up here. There's not very much cover, but there's not too many enemies either. And we squeeze the life out of that guy. Only thing left here is this turret. And Terminal decides that since we're going to have to exfil at some point, she's going to stay back here and cover the exit and heal herself just a tad bit. So now we're spread out pretty decently amongst the room. The only thing that's really got a chance at shooting us right now is this turret. So Cherub moves up just to investigate some more. And like we thought, there's no one really out here. Blue Blood decides to come up here and realizes that if he goes ahead and tries to go to Mr. Tesseract, he might get shot by this turret. And here we go, this tongue pull comes in real handy. I wonder what sectoid tastes like. Anyway, we got him out of harm's way, nice and easy. But now we see that there's going to be reinforcements coming here pretty soon. So now we got to get Mr. Tesseract out of Dodge as soon as possible. Luckily, he's really good at keeping his head down and following orders. He did devise a drill, evidently. And Torque leads the extraction. And we're just going to let this turret be for now. And Terminal decides to keep on healing everybody. Might as well top off everybody she can. And she stays downstairs, activating her Overwatch. Luckily, we kind of know where these reinforcements are going to come out. They're going to come through this window. So at least we can be a little bit ready. And the nice thing about the shield, it gives you an extra plus 15 to aim. So, you know, it gives a really good support options for Cherub. He might not be the damage powerhouse, but he's got good support options. Blue Blood is just takes one little pot shot at the turret and decides to move, because if he uses the last action as a move action, it automatically activates his Overwatch. We get the VIP, the F out of there, and that's when reinforcements come. 2 agents open fire on the robot, destroying the robot. I'm glad it doesn't get to explode. And Torque is getting really excited now, because now she gets to use this very epic submachine gun that we got last time. Using her chain shot ability she gets from this weapon, she can fire at this enemy multiple times. Here's that first hit, and she doesn't stop there. Boom. 2 shots, taking that thing out. She is really happy with that submachine gun that she got. And you know what? I'm glad we gave it to her. XCOM Chimera Squad has trained for this scenario. We are going to do a tactical retreat. And once again, Terminal drops back just a few feet, activates Overwatch. This all looks like a pretty easy job from here on out. We don't see too many other obstacles, but we do see reinforcements are on the way. So we don't want to get too overconfident in ourselves. Take it nice and slow. Oh, and this thing activates its self-destruct sequence one more time. We really hate seeing that. And Blue Blood decides that he's just going to shoot this thing once and move. There's no decent spots that grant him cover, so he's just going to go as far as he can. He does activate his Overwatch.
Way to cover us.
Torque moves over here, taking a far position in the back. Oh man. She decides to activate her Overwatch as well.
Ammo's nearly out.
Terminal looks around and sees that, you know, everyone's kind of healthy. She decides to leave the room.
I see you.
Join the VIP outside. And more reinforcements come by.
Quickly now.
Blue Blood shoots this guy for a little bit of damage. And here comes Torque. Poisoning him with 1 hit point left. Meaning, on his turn, he's just going to drop down dead. Cherub gets an idea. And he wants some of this glory. And he wants to throw a grenade. But realize that this guy is already a walking corpse. And there's really no reason to. He just decides to leave.
I'm going.
And he exits as well, joining the VIP and Terminal outside. Our explosive android comes over here and explodes. Luckily we had a kinetic shield up. Didn't take any damage. And yet another explodey boy activates his most irritating ability ever.
Weapons running low.
Blue Blood's just had it with this shit, and he's out. He's done.
If they move, I'll shoot.
He's just like, I'm out of here.
Nearly out
That
of
guy
ammo.
falls down dead.
Not enough ammo.
Now Torque goes to
the
the door and
exercise.
turns around and looks at this thing. And she's a little bit spiteful. It's not gonna die, she just wants to inflict some pain. And she leaves. Don't tell her that the robots don't feel pain, she might not enjoy it as much. Alright, we get out of here. We get an excellent rating. Everyone's a little wounded or lightly wounded, but we got out. No one's dead, no one's down. We got the VIP. It was a good mission.
Good work shutting down Sacred Coil's genetic testing program. City 31 can sleep safer tonight.
And that's the mission of Operation Laser King. Let me know in the comments who you liked the most in this mission. Who do you think was the MVP? Was it Blue Blood? Was it Cherub? Was it Terminal? Or was it Torque? You already know who my favorite is, but they all have their own thing that they do best. Blue Blood is always dishing out the pain. Cherub is always keeping his friends safe and helping them aim better. Terminal is keeping everyone alive, because we do take a bunch of damage. And Torque is pretty much just, well, she murders everything pretty well. And I think she enjoys doing it. So I'm glad that she is on our team on Chimera Squad. So thank you guys for joining us here for episode 3 of Commander's Log. Stay tuned for episode 4 coming at you soon. Thank you very much for watching.